the next level.
Hello, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Coach Tiffany Para with Phoenix Fitness Fanatics Magazine. We have our Authors Network Spotlight today, and we are taking center stage on the Own It publishing platform with an amazing young woman. She is an author, she is a spiritual life coach, she is a co-author in the up-and-coming Becoming a Girl Powerhouse. She is just an absolute doll. I'm going to go ahead and bring her on in. Good morning, Miss Kristle. How are you? Welcome.
Good morning, Miss Tiffany. Nice to be here. Thank you so much. And the intro was wonderful. I was jamming in the backstage, doing my thing.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And that is by Miss BJ Martin, who is also part of the Own It family. So I thank you so much for that. So
well, kudos.
Tell our audience where you're from.
Well, I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Yes, there's Black people in Wisconsin. I know it's a thing. Okay, we in here, just a little cluster. That's all. But we're here. I come from a biracial background. My mom's side is from Puerto Rico. My dad's side is from Tennessee. So I got a little bit of everything, a little Afro-Latina going on,
Yes.
So let me know what I can hit you in Spanish or English. Just let me know what you want to do,
Yes, look, and I bet the cooking, okay? Look,
oh,
can I get in your kitchen?
That would be an honor to cook for you, especially in the holidays.
Oh, that would be so awesome. So tell us just a little bit about just you and your personality and just kind of who Kristle is.
Okay, well, I mean, I can be very bubbly, but in the background, I'm a very laid back chick. I'm very simple. I just enjoy, a gray sky and some Netflix and some ramen noodles type of chick. I don't ask for much. A little bit of introversion going on, but as I get to know you, I definitely, just brighten up and just become, the life of the party. And then I'm exhausted afterwards because that's what happens to introverts. Too much mental. Let's see. Well, I go by KB Well in my social media. That's when I started to really find myself during the COVID times. We all were stuck in the house for a long time, and I didn't know what to do with myself. But I ended up making positive content to help with self-esteem and inspire people to have self-love and self-worth for themselves. Things that I struggled and still struggle with, some of the days. I ended up writing this book. It's just so much wonderful stuff has happened ever since COVID, and I'm just really happy to share with you guys. So I'm really happy to be here.
Well, so have you always wanted to be an author? Like when you were younger, did you write a lot, or was that your thing?
Well, yes, I did write a lot, but my mind was set on being a mental health counselor. So I went to school for that, and when I got to the internship, I don't know if it was an epiphany or it was God or both, but I didn't feel as though I belonged. So I got out of there, but I did take the knowledge and everything, all the studies of the grad program.
Yeah.
So I don't know. During the COVID time, I said, you know what? I wrote this book. I started to write this book in 2012, and I didn't have anything else to do. And I just kept writing until it was done. And then I got it published, and I'm just so elated that a piece of me is all over the country, you know?
That's
And
gotta
I
be
use
just
my
an amazing
son.
feeling.
Thank you so much. My son, he's an art major.
Oh,
And I thought it would be really sweet if I asked him to illustrate the book for me, which he did. And I'm just so proud of it. It's just such a wonderful book.
oh, that's
Here
awesome.
it is.
Let's
Isn't
get
it cute?
into the book. Let's talk about it. So, Gigi and the Candle Spell. Let's talk about that.
Okay.
Tell me a
So
little.
Gigi and the Candle Spell is a wonderful little novelette. It's multi-genre. It can fit just about anybody's personality if they gave it a chance. It talks about struggle with insecurity, poverty, um, almost like, maybe like an identity crisis.
Mm,
And she goes through all of these struggles to try to find herself because she did not have the support at home as, like all we all want to have, from our parents. But sometimes you got to leave the nest in order to find out who you are, you
yes,
know?
you do.
So
Absolutely.
I don't know, I don't know what got me to come up with this story back in 2012. I was 24. I didn't know nothing about life, but I knew I wanted to get out of mama house.
Okay.
And I just wrote one paragraph and I left it alone. And I guess I needed 10 more years of life experience to fill the pages. And I can't be any more proud. It does talk about witchcraft and the troubles of evil and
Yeah.
the light of God and the
Mhm.
spirituality,
Those are real
self-love,
things.
self-worth. Yeah, and it has some triggers in it. I just want to say, it does have some triggers, but it all fits in my narrative. And yes, for y'all who already have the book, I am working on part two.
Awesome. That is awesome. Awesome.
Thank
So
you.
tell me, what was going through that writing process? What do you feel was the hardest part of that writing process?
I think the hardest part was believing in myself and believing that it was a good book and people were going to want to read it. I wanted it not to only have a story, but to have a message that will be residual in our hearts forever. And it does have a message. And that's why I'm just so pressed on people giving it a chance because I want us all to conquer this insecurity that we may have inside and just start loving ourselves. I don't know why throughout social media, constantly looking at pictures and you looking at Instagram and you start judging yourself and comparing yourself to other people and as far as looks and social brackets and financial brackets. This book says different. This book says that you are the bomb. You are a queen. You
Yeah.
are everything that you've ever imagined, and nobody can tell you different.
Yes. And see, I think the biggest thing with, social media today as well, and, all the things that we posted is you don't necessarily know what's real, what's fake, what's filtered, what's been
Photoshopping, yeah,
doctored up,
filters.
what's
Hmm.
right, does this person actually have that hourglass figure? I mean, things like that, right? And
Hmm.
it makes people have a different thought process because they're really they're kind of tricked here and now it's like you're programmed right to
Yeah,
think a different way and I love the fact that you tapped into loving yourself unconditionally because that is like the number one that to me I feel like that's the number one way
absolutely.
for you to move forward is by finding that unconditional love through anything that you're dealing with in life when you're stagnant and stuck you got to look at it and look at how you're treating yourself and look at how you're
Exactly.
feeling, towards yourself. So I absolutely love what
Thank
you've done
you.
here. So we're
And
gonna actually quick
oh, go
cut
ahead.
to a quick commercial break, and
Sure,
then
sure.
we'll be right back.
Yes, ma'am.
And we are back. This is Phoenix Fitness Fanatics Magazine. We have our special guest, Miss Kristle Harris-Bowie. And I tell you, Kristle, that commercial right there, every time I see that Lupo Entertainment commercial, I am dancing in my seat.
You knew? Did you see me? Because I sure was out there. I'm like, I'm gonna do that because that's some catchy stuff.
Right? That's the fun part about hosting these things. You get to see everybody that's in the back, in the
Yeah,
backstage
you
and just
know,
dancing, things like that. So I just love it.
I'm like this all the time, just goofy. I don't know. That's just me. You gotta live life, right?
You really do. Hey, embrace the goofiness
That's
because
right.
that's what makes you the unique person that you are. So
Thank you so much.
yes. So tell me, with this book, who's your target audience for this particular book?
My target audience are, well, mostly women, between the ages, I would say 18 and older. What I was going to say before the commercial is that even though it's a beautiful black woman or black girl on the cover,
Hmm.
this book has has the ability to relate to anybody from any walk of life,
Hmm.
because you know how sometimes when you depict pick the story and let's say it's about black people, it's about Latin people, they kind of go towards like a certain narrative,
Hmm.
or maybe even a prejudice, like, oh, I'm assuming that they go through this or assuming they go through that. Well, this one is completely different. This one, oh my, I don't even know. Like, it's just so much. When I think about it, I can't even put it into words. And it took me a long time to create the summary for the back. But yeah, um, women of all ages have purchased this book and they found something that they related to. And they want more. And I was just like, okay, cool. Well, I'm kind of crazy, but I'll figure it out.
Hey, when they want more, they want more. So you definitely got to give them. So I know that, going through, the writing process, it could be, very emotional. It could be very trying just on you, physically and everything, mentally, because you're really just having to get everything out, right? So what does self-care look like for Miss Kristle? Because we do definitely have to, pay attention to that as we flow through life. So what is your self-care?
Well, during COVID and even now, I think the most important um, self care I have is me time. As a person with generalized anxiety disorder and PCOS, which both makes my brain foggy. That's why sometimes I trip over my words and I'm not able to pay attention or answer, the best that I could at the time. What makes me better is recharging myself like a cell phone.
Mhm.
You know how some apps, they take up more juice than others? Well,
Yes.
sometimes um, being social and interacting can definitely take a toll on an introvert like me.
Mhm.
So after this meeting, I'm going to make sure that I go into my she shed and I meditate and I just turn the phone off and just be okay for at least 20 minutes without interruption. And that's my way of recharging. It doesn't matter what time you do it. You can do it when everybody's asleep, when
Yeah.
your babies are fed, your man or woman is fed, and everybody's in their beds. I know it's late, it's 12 in the morning, you have to go to work in the morning, but you need that time by yourself
Mhm.
to recharge. And that's what I do, and that's what keeps me sane.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think that quiet time is very important.
Absolutely.
So tell me, so what are you working on right now?
Right now, I'm finishing up the little details for the big chapter for the Powerhouse. Oh, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. And I'm also working on the second part of Gigi and the Candle Spell. Um, Definitely, I am networking and trying to get myself together so I can become a successful spiritual coach.
Mhm.
I look forward to that part of my career and serving people just how I do on my TikToks. I want to do it in a different setting, I guess. So that's a little bit of everything I'm doing, you know?
Yes, I love that. So when you started doing the TikToks and things like that, because I know that that's really having to put yourself out there, right? So what really like what was the hardest part to just really be able to get out there and jump and do that, because it's a lot.
Well, with my anxiety issue, it was really hard because you don't want to be around people, right? Not
Mhm.
necessarily. But when I got on camera, I just let go of all that. I said, okay, I got to make a name for myself. So I got to put myself out there, roles and all, big girl power type thing. And I just posted. I said, okay, it is what it is. And the feedback that I got was not at all what I assumed I was going to get. No fat shaming, no nothing. It was like, you go, girl. I said, oh, okay, let's
Yeah.
do more.
Okay. Okay.
So
It's
I
also
began,
confidence.
yeah, I began by being goofy or doing little skits, and then all of a sudden, I just felt in my heart, why don't I leave an inspiring quote today, or why don't I say, you're beautiful, no matter what you're going through. Just remember that you are that bee,
Yeah.
and just post
Yeah.
it, and it just blew up. And that's what I do now. That's what my followers expect. But it got to the point where they were sending me messages and asking me for personal advice and telling me their stories. And I'm like, wow, I don't know this person, but they feel comfortable enough to open up to me. And
That's
I said,
huge.
maybe I am supposed to be some type of helper like that. So that's why I said, okay, let me be a coach.
It definitely sounds like that's your calling for sure.
I think so. I hope so.
And just showing up with that confidence, right? I mean, you're thinking one thing's going to happen, but you're like, no, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm getting out there. And when you have that confidence and you show up, people will show up for you as well and really just I mean, they love you. I mean, I when I saw you, I mean, out there, I was like, oh my God, like she's so cute.
Oh, thank you so much. It
Yeah, because
wasn't easy.
that
It was
light.
not
You
easy.
do.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, and I want to be there for other big girls too. It's not easy being in a world where you're constantly um, judged by your appearance, and sometimes you don't want to leave the house at all. You don't want to post nothing from the neck down, girl. No, you better put on your favorite outfit and you better flaunt it
Show
on
up,
that camera
show
and
up.
be who you are.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Show up and show out, ladies,
exactly. That, ex-
regardless, okay? Regardless of you may like I know when I was in my, my journey of releasing weight, I
mhm.
had to learn to love myself at that size 22
That's
just as
true.
much as I love myself in that size 8.
Right,
Once I
right.
got to that, it was,
You got to
you
do it.
still love that person you love the skin that you're in. That's what
Exactly.
it's all about.
And
That's
that's
what
what I tell my followers. Even if you are trying to lose the weight for whatever reason, make sure it's for you
just
and
for
no
you.
one else.
That's right.
And make sure that you love yourself during the journey, little
Yeah.
by little.
Yes.
So it's just
Good, the
wonderful.
bad, the ugly. Shoot, look, I love me ugly crying some days.
Yeah, Gigi in my book, she struggles with her weight too. She go up and down. She going through, issues with people treating her a certain type of way. It's like, yeah, it's a very real thing.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm so glad that you touched on that as well. So tell me,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
what is one of your favorite books out there that inspire you?
Oh man, what? You mean which?
Okay.
Oh man, definitely I was a bookworm. I read a lot of W. E. Du Bois. Maya Angelou has wonderful poetry that really changed the way I look at life. One main quote that reminds me of her and keeps me going every day is, if somebody shows you who they are, believe them. So that makes me believe more into my intuition. Like if that's a bad vibe, like okay, this person is not somebody you want to mess with. Stay away from that person. Um, Perhaps you should set up boundaries. It taught me a lot about boundaries. Even that beautiful poem impacted me more than a few sessions with my therapist.
Wow. Yeah.
And I always carry it. I might get it, I guess, a tattoo or something because there's a lot of phony people out here.
Right.
um, Also, I'm very much into African American history books, slave narratives, because it makes me humble. It makes me appreciate every single morsel that I enjoy, the roof over my head, the shoes on my feet, even though they're not name brand. Oh well,
Right.
compared to our ancestors, how dare
Absolutely.
I be ungrateful?
That part. That
Definitely, definitely. It's so many wonderful authors out there that no one really talks about. But I tell you, messing with me, I'm definitely going to be suggesting some of their work to my potential clients because they really help me open up and find out who I am.
oh, that's amazing. That's awesome. We're going to cut to another quick commercial break, and then we will be right back with Miss Kristle Harris-Bowie. Be right back. And we are back. This is Phoenix Fitness Fanatics Magazine with our author spotlight with Miss Kristle Harris-Bowie. All right, Miss Kristle. So, what
Hey.
is some words of encouragement that you can maybe give to an author out there that's just trying to start?
Well, what I can say is yes, it is possible. And if you wake up and all you want to do is write, then you're a writer. You don't need nobody else to tell you that. It's really, you really don't have to spend that much money in order to get your book published. All you have to do is be smart and learn for yourself, and you can self publish. You can get everything done on your own, and you don't have to feel discouraged. You don't need $1,000 to get started with your writing. Um, I would say keep believing in yourself, throw up on your papers, and just keep going until you think that the story is done. And then after that, put the pieces where they belong. And if you have any questions or if you want to learn how to self-publish on your own on a budget, please go to my website. I got
Okay.
you. I got you. Okay, so you can have your own art, spread out all over the world. If you have a story to tell or a message, I can definitely help you with that. But yeah, you got this. You got this though.
I love that. Yes, you have those, you have book publishing services as well
I
as your coaching
do.
services. So, yes, everyone, if you are out there and you are looking to self publish something, definitely connect with Crystal. So, so, Chris, I tell you, when we get on here, the time goes so quickly. But please give some words of encouragement or words of wisdom to our audience that is watching today. Just maybe some words that they can, use to push through the rest of the week.
What I can tell you is whoever it is that's peeving you off, you need to dismiss them because
Mm,
they have no right to take away your sunshine and ruin your whole day. And even if you get in the shower today, you know what? That's being productive and you should be proud of yourself.
yes.
Keep striving and keep going. You got this.
Yes, you got this, everybody. You got this. Well, it has been just absolutely amazing having you on the show, Miss Kristle. And I tell you, I am so honored to have you in the Becoming a Girl Powerhouse as one of our co-authors. Everyone,
Thank you.
just wait. In the coming months, you are going to be meeting some amazing women that have joined me, Kristle, and there's a lot of them, and
It's a
it's going to be
lot.
awesome. You guys are going to hear a lot more from Miss Kristle here in regards to her chapter and just a little bit more about her life. It's just amazing. So everyone, have an awesome day. Have an amazing rest of your week, and
Yes.
we will definitely see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.